What a time to be a sports fan. We got college football heating up. Week 1 of the NFL is starting, and we got a new host. The Extra Point is back, and it starts right now. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Extra Point. I'm your new host, Griffin Barfield. I was sick last week. Patrick filled in for me. And now I'm filling in for the infamous Kate Wojnarowski, trying to do the best I can. And I have 5 incredible panelists here today to try to help me do that. We have Daniel Dungan, we got RJ Polli, we got David Polli, Ashlyn Myers, and Brian Warner. Guys, welcome back, and we're going to start talking some college football. Got started right away, and we got a great slate of games this weekend. Obviously, you know, the elephant in the room, Clemson. We'll talk about them a little bit later. But we're going to start around the ACC, and we have number 10 Notre Dame going to Raleigh to take on the NC State Wolfpack. Guys, who do you have here? And I'm going to start with Daniel.
Notre Dame. Sam Hartman already looks like an NFL caliber quarterback. Now, he's only played Navy in Middle Tennessee, but every single drive has looked phenomenal. Their run game is very physical and just looks unstoppable.
I like Notre Dame, though. They got a good running game, and my team always struggle against them. So.
Yeah, I'm going to go Notre Dame. A lot of people are like, oh, Sam Hartman this, Sam Hartman that. Like, you know, he's great and all, but, like, people forget that Sam Hartman is the all-time leader in passing yards for the ACC. So it's not like that, like, Navy or Tennessee State invalidate like how good he is. No, this guy's incredible. He's legitimately a top 3, top 4 quarterback in the entirety of college football. They have a great running game led by Audric Estime, who went to my rival high school, and their backup quarterback, Steve Angeli, went to my high school, and he threw a touchdown pass last week. So I don't really love Notre Dame, like, as a school, but, like, I think they're an incredible football team, great defense. They're ready to roll. They got Al Golden, so.
So Notre Dame is the sole ranked team in this matchup. They've played 2 winning games so far, averaging 500 yards per game. With NC State's new transfer quarterback, Brennan Armstrong, coming in, their offense is supposed to have a boost, but I don't think it's going to be enough for them to beat Notre Dame. So give me Notre Dame.
I'm going to go with Notre Dame, too. We're all pretty much on the same wavelength. I haven't been able to watch really any of their games, but, I mean, just hearing, and I ended up looking at some of the stats for Sam Hartman. I mean, he's been very impressive. In the last 2 games combined, he's had 6 touchdowns for 445 yards. He was 33 completions for 40 attempts, 0 interceptions, and a combined passer rating, or an average passer rating of 96.95, including the game against Navy, which he had so far the best passer rating, I believe, in any game, if it's still up to date.
Yeah, that completion percentage is what sticks out for me the most for Hartman. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
His coverage was pretty good, too. It was just, he was picking it apart, just fitting it in just right.
Some awesome. We got Notre Dame across the board. A couple hot takes so far about Sam Hartman. That's just what we do here. But now we are going to go to the Big Easy. We got a ranked matchup between number 20 Ole Miss traveling to number 24 Tulane. Guys, this is a fun one. We were talking about this a little bit earlier. You know, a mid-major taking on an SEC team. Who do we got here? And I'm going to start with Brian over there.
I am going with Ole Miss. Again, some of these games I haven't really been able to catch yet. I've been pretty focused on Clemson, obviously. But I think their offense has looked really good, especially in the last game. I mean, their first game out, I forget, they weren't in week 0. But their first game, I mean, 73 points is 73 points. I get it's not an incredible team they're going against, but it's still pretty impressive to get 73. I know that it's going to be a good game. It's number 20 versus number 24, both ranked. So I think it's going to be close, but I think Ole Miss will be able to pull it out.
I'm going to agree. I'm going to go with Ole Miss as well. Oh, shit. I think this is definitely Jackson Dart's team. He threw 18 for 24 attempts, had 4 touchdowns, I believe. Definitely think they're Ole Miss all the way.
Yeah, I have a guess I'll be the only one here, but I'm going to go Tulane. I think Tulane is a great football team. I mean, Willie Fritz is a great coach. You look at what they did last year, and they got their quarterback from last year's team, beating USC in that bowl game, double-digit wins. Michael Pratt coming back. Michael Pratt is a great pro-style quarterback, high completion percentage, and can move with his legs. We saw that. They're losing running back Tyjae Spears, who was incredible, the number one focal point of that offense last year. And Ole Miss has a great running back in Quinshawn Judkins, and then a couple other guys right behind him. So it'll be a lot of attacking on the ground, but I got Tulane coming out of there.
I have Ole Miss just because they got like a good program. They always had like a good program. And like, it's an SEC team, and the SEC is like a very hard conference. So I feel like it'll be a close game though, but they'll come out on top.
Fun fact, Tulane was an original member of the SEC, and they left out of their own accord. I bet they wish they hadn't.
Yeah, it's going to be close though.
Join the American. I went with Tulane also because of what they did last year, going 12-2, beating USC 46-45. It was just, they've done so well recently, and that team is more or less the same. I'll go with Tulane.
I think at the very least, if it won't be close, it'll at least be a really good matchup.
We get the ball last.
It's going to be fun. I was talking with Griff. We were like, this is really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game absolutely will be a really fun one to watch. And at 3:30, that probably will be the game on my TV on Saturday. But we got another great 3:30 game that we're about to talk about. We got number 23, Texas A&M, traveling to Miami, Florida to take on the Hurricanes. This is another fun one. I think we have a lot of fun ones across this week. But, I'm going to give it out to my panel. So you guys got for this? Start with you, Daniel.
I got A&M. I just don't trust Miami. They haven't really impressed me recently in the past several years. A&M's a little, sometimes they're really good, sometimes they just drop the ball, but I'll take A&M over Miami.
I got to taste the A&M as well. Just like you say, Daniel, they kind of wishy-washy to me.
Yeah.
Like, you don't ever know what you're going to get out of Miami. So taste the A&M. And they always have, a good program as well.
So I just made this decision right now. This has been the hardest game, definitely, to pick one on. I mean, I think both teams have something to prove. I was thinking about this, looking up to college football. The winner of this game will have a monster season. The loser of this game will fall apart. And I'm going to go with Miami. I think Tyler Van Dyke showed promise as his first year as a starter when he was there 2 years ago. Last year they brought in an overrated offensive coordinator who was fired by the program because he, turns out it was all Harbaugh when Josh Gaddis was at Michigan. At Miami, it wasn't Josh Gaddis's, philosophy that proved to be any successful at all. They also lost their defensive coordinator, Kevin Steele. But both of those coordinators were bad. So it's like, are you going to get better bringing in all these transfers, everything like that? So I'm going to go Miami. I think they're turning over a new leaf. But I think A&M, quarterback Connor Wegman under Bobby Petrino's offense, I think it'll be a high-scoring one.
It's definitely a hard decision to make. I think with Miami having about 40 new players on their roster and their safety, James Williams, I think his talent is really going to be utilized in this game. I think Miami's going to come out on top. I think they're definitely a new team than they were last year, but I think it's going to be really close. So give me Miami.
I am right in the same boat as David. I have been stuck on this for at least the last 2 hours. I mean, this is when I really started looking into it. So this game to me is going to be close. I think it's going to be down to a gut feeling. That's kind of where I'm at this point. So I'm going to go Texas A&M. I put up their stats. I actually did take screenshots. I have the whole thing here. I didn't feel like having to write all this down. But, you look at it, the starting quarterback, Tyler Van Dyke for Miami, he was 17 for 22, 201 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. You had Connor Wegman.
Connie.
For Texas A&M, 18 for 23, 236 yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. So he did throw for more touchdowns. But as you look into the team's stats and the yards they got, the total is 493 for Miami, 411 for Texas A&M. Passing, it was 243 for Miami, 277 for Texas A&M. And then Miami had a little bit stronger of a rushing attack with 250, while Texas A&M had 134. So I think it's going to be very close. I don't think the scores will be 38-52 like the Miami and Texas A&M had scored previously. But I do think it'll be a close game, probably in the mid-20s, my thought. But I'll go with A&M.
Last year in College Station, when they played this game, it was 17-9. So, and the Aggies came out on top. So I think it'll be lower scoring. And the Canes don't really have a home field. They play at Hard Rock. And, as a guy with a bunch of friends that go to Miami, the Canes aren't really that crazy, but I think it'll be good.
So home field's taken out pretty much. And then A&M also has a pretty good wide receiver room in it as well. Obviously, they're not the best, but they're probably about top 10, top 15. They at least can be. They have the potential. So if Miami secondary shows up, maybe it leads to Miami, but I'm still going to A&M. So.
Awesome. Another 3-2 vote, and of course, obviously, the SEC against the ACC always goes hard. We saw that last week with North Carolina and South Carolina. So we got another classic on our hands, and I'm really excited for it. Next up, speaking of classics, we have a Battle of Iowa. We have the Iowa Hawkeyes traveling to take on the Iowa State Cyclones. Guys, who do you have in this one? I'm going to start with you, Brian.
Oh, I got to write this quick. So I was looking at this. This is another one where it's like I just haven't watched the teams yet. So I haven't really gotten a feel for it. And I'm still going to stick with the one I had. I went with Iowa State. I just felt like home field. Iowa didn't really win by much by Utah. I believe it was a 10-point win, 24-14 against Utah State. And I can't remember who Iowa State played. Do any of you remember? I don't remember at the top of my head. But they had won by at least a bigger margin. So I'm guessing it's kind of the same. So I just kind of went with Iowa State. Like literally all I wrote down here for my notes was I think Iowa State will win. So it's going to be probably another close game. It's always a good rivalry. But I'll go Iowa State.
I think they played Northern Iowa.
Was it Northern Iowa?
Yeah, it was Northern Iowa.
Northern
yeah.
Iowa. They won 30-9.
30-9, so it's a little bit bigger of a lead.
Yeah.
That's where I'm like.
You can go first.
I'll go first. I mean, I got a pretty strong opinion about this. 40 minutes ago, Hunter Deckers, the supposed starting quarterback for Iowa State, and 5 other players among the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Iowa State football team pled guilty to the gambling charges that they've been facing all offseason. So without your starting quarterback, without anything to really look up to, Matt Campbell totally missed the hype train. Guy was getting Michigan looks. He was getting look at all these big-time head coaching jobs, turned down the NFL, and Iowa State's just back to being a bottom of the Big 12 program. I'm going the Hawkeyes. I just think it's crazy how much disrespect Utah State's getting. I think they're a very good, group of 5 football team, and they gave Iowa a tough fight. But I think the coolest dynamic to see here is Iowa State's offensive coordinator is Brian Ferentz. The head coach of Iowa, the Hawkeyes, is Kirk Ferentz. The son is the offensive coordinator, and the son has to fill 2 requirements to keep his job this year. The offense has to score 25 points a game throughout the entire season, and the Hawkeyes have to win 7 games. Other than that, due to his contract, he will be fired. So we haven't seen any clauses like this, and I think the Hawkeyes are going to have a mean streak.
That's tough. I feel like Iowa State's got a lot of drama going on right now. Iowa State. I was fully going to say Iowa State, and then David came in here talking about their gambling charges. I feel like that's so they're going to fall apart, for sure.
I'll say Iowa State just because of home field advantage. I ain't know that till y'all just told me.
I mean, it ain't that much of a home field advantage. I mean, it's far in Iowa State terms, but it's like Iowa State. You can't tell me, the black and gold ain't going to be in that stadium.
Yeah.
I learned about the gambling too, but I was like, I'm just going to stick with my first decision.
Sticking with my gut, because every time I pick them, get them.
Daniel, you're the deciding vote.
I went with Iowa for the same reasons. Isn't this game normally like later in the season too? It feels.
No, it's usually like a couple weeks later. It's usually around like 3 to 6.
It just feels really early.
Yeah, too early.
But I picked Iowa for the same reasons.
Awesome. Well, Iowa was taken there, but honestly, that's just another fun one. But speaking of fun ones, this is my favorite game of this weekend. College game day will be there, and obviously most of us remember last year when number 11 Texas is traveling to Tuscaloosa to take on the Alabama Crimson Tide, ranked number 3 in the country, guys. I'm very excited for this one. This is probably my game of the week, and I want to hear your thoughts on it. Who do you like? Start with you, Daniel.
I'll go with Bama. It's at home, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go with Bama at home. Very tough environment, very tough team. It'll be close. Texas is good, but I'll take Bama.
I got Texas. You want me to tell you why? It's a revenge game, especially from last year on what happened. Bama struggled last year against Texas, and I feel like this year Texas is going to get their get back against them. And I just like Texas for some reason.
We've been saying it for years. This might be the year. I'm going to say Texas is not back. I'm going Bama. Everybody's down the king. Nick Saban, what are we doing here? Georgia's great and all. They're phenomenal, but you can't discard the greatest head coach in college football of all time. I mean, give me the history between these two teams. Give me Jalen Milroe, the dual threat quarterback for Bama. Give me the defense. I don't think Steve Sarkisian is a very good head coach. And I do love you, buddy, Sadir Mitchell. He's a football player on Texas. defensive tackle from my high school. I love you, but I don't think you guys are going to get it done this week. Give me the Tide.
This is arguably the biggest game this week, Alabama, Texas. And given what happened last year, Texas almost pulled up the upset, but Bama scored a field goal in the last 10 seconds of the game to win. So Texas is going to come in ready to go, very angry, having all that support. It's kind of like how we were talking about TCU last week, how they were at the national championship there, and that didn't work out. But this time, I feel like Texas, all the way.
It's going to come down to the last minute, though, who get the ball last.
Yeah.
Deciding vote. What do you like?
I have one thing to say. Roll Tide. I'm going Bama.
There we go, Brian.
It's really tough. I mean, they're at home. I think if this was in Texas, I think I would have went with the Longhorns just because it's home field advantage. But there's no place like Bama when you play there. Some of the stats. I mean, you look back at. I think they're on a 21-game win streak at home. I believe is what the number is up to now. They're 103-8 with Nick Saban at Bama, like when they're at their house. And on top of that, if I'm correct, Sarkisian was under Nick Saban's tree.
Yep, he's offensive coordinator.
Typically, through history, I mean, this is a lot
Nick
of history
Saban
stats.
dominates his coordinators.
Dominates those that are part of his tree. The only one that's been able to break him so far is Kirby Smart.
Kirby Smart.
And what have they done? They've won back-to-back championships. Texas has not been to a championship at least in a few years.
2006.
No,
2006 was the last time they won. 2009, they lost to Alabama.
All right, so I was 2 and I was 5. So I don't remember that at all. And I think, in all fairness, that will probably be more than they scored. I'm just joking. It's not. But
Bama Brian.
I definitely think it will be Bama. I think Nowhere will be fun to watch. The dual threat kind of reminds me. I mean, I didn't get to watch a lot of it, but I remember last year he kind of reminded me of a little bit of like a Lamar Jackson-esque.
Last year he couldn't throw the ball.
He could not.
So
He got a little better.
hopefully he can throw it.
But 5 touchdowns, or responsible for 5 touchdowns, is pretty impressive. I'm excited to watch him. I think Bama's going to win. Going to be close, but I think Bama's going to win.
Awesome. Well, yeah, that game once again will be pure fireworks, and I'm really excited for that game, and I'm sure you all are too. But I know you guys were talking about TCU a little bit ago. Let's talk about Coach Prime in Colorado. So we're going to move on to our fill-in-the-blank part of our show now, and we're going to start with talking about the Colorado Buffaloes. Obviously, a huge shootout win over TCU. They're now ranked. So, guys, fill in the blank here. Colorado's shootout win on Saturday over TCU was blank. And, Brian, I'm going to start with you. You were the only one, besides Brett, you were the only one here today, that did pick the Buffaloes yesterday, so I want to hear your thoughts on it.
Well, first off, I'm so excited they won because my LSU take was pretty bad. I was kind of hoping they were going to come through, but it didn't work. I'm still standing beside my statement of FSU. But I said that this game was a statement. Those 2 words. But, I mean, you look at it, yes, it was TCU, and yes, like I said last week, TCU lost a lot of losing words.
Lost a lot of players to the draft.
Through the draft,
right?
Yes. So, I mean, as much as I said about that, they're still a good program, and they still have some talent. It's not like they're not. That's why they were ranked. Sadly, they dropped out. But I said it was a statement mainly because it's not only a statement for Colorado as a program. They obviously made a statement that they can hang with tougher teams with higher competition. Now, this doesn't mean that they're going to win every game that they're ranked. I mean, if they go up against Alabama, I'm still taking Alabama. But it does mean that they'll be able to compete. And on top of that, it's a statement for Deion Sanders. It's a statement to show that he can actually hang in college Division I, because before this he was Jackson State, which I'm correct was Division II.
No,
right?
Division I FCS.
Division I, but they're FCS. Okay,
Yes,
sorry.
yeah.
In the FBS. Be able to hang in the FBS. And on top of that, I think it's a statement for Travis Hunter, for Heisman, kind of a dark horse Heisman candidate. And I think it was a statement for, I'm going to try and remember this, Shedeur Sanders. I believe I said it right.
Shedeur, yeah.
I don't remember how to pronounce it right. I think it's a statement for him. It could possibly be a dark horse statement for him for Heisman, but I think it's more of a statement to show that he can be a FBS Division I starting quarterback. I mean, he had 510 yards, 5 touchdowns? 4 touchdowns. 4 touchdowns, 510 yards, and I can't remember his passing yards, but I mean, it was impressive.
510.
Yeah, 5.
You said
Sorry,
that.
passing completions.
Yeah, it was up there.
Completion
It was up there.
He threw the ball a lot. He threw the ball a lot.
37 for 40.
49, I think, something
49.
like that. Yeah,
I thought it was, yeah, I mean, it was
something
still
like
impressive.
that. He was slinging it.
So, I mean, it's just, to me, it was a statement.
Yeah, for sure. I think it was awesome. Shedeur Sanders set the school record for passing yards with 510 yards. Even Tom Brady thought this was awesome. He texted Shedeur after the game, "Don't be satisfied." So I think if Tom Brady texts you, like,
That's amazing.
it was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with groundbreaking. I think this is really a groundbreaking thing we're seeing in college football. All these doubters and Deion Sanders, Colorado, worst roster in college football, 1 win a year ago. Coach Prime's not a good coach. He can only recruit, yada, yada. when you're bringing this much talent anywhere you go from an FCS level team, those FCS recruits that he had were 4- and 5-star recruits that would have gone to all of the other best schools in the country. He's bringing FCS talent and real Division I talent from an FCS school up to Colorado, and he's making an immediate impact with the culture and with his son and with Travis Hunter. I don't know how we haven't talked about him yet. That guy is phenomenal. So I think it's groundbreaking for a lot of things that he's going to be able to do with, this new style of coaching, especially in the era of the transfer portal and NIL.
I'll say phenomenal, very remarkable game. Just because, the doubters, people been doubting them the whole, they only gonna have 1 win, 2 wins, and but they gotta keep working though, prove them doubters wrong. And I just feel like if Shedeur keep playing that way, he might win Heisman. I really want Travis Hunter to win Heisman just because he played 2 positions, and that dude just a GOAT.
Yeah, we have a loaded slate this week, but one game we didn't talk about because the slate is so loaded is Nebraska-Colorado. That game's going to be huge. Is the hype train real? Is Matt Rule going to build something at Nebraska? What's the home field advantage? Remember, this used to be a crazy, awesome rivalry in the 90s when they were both in the Big 12 and Colorado was winning national titles and Nebraska was winning national titles. So, yeah, Daniel, what do you got?
Oh, I got stunning. Just every single part of that game, the culture that Deion Sanders has established, and just I'm ready to see what their season, the rest of the season, is going to play like because they got a tough schedule.
Yeah.
There's a lot of big games on that schedule. And, wow, how many plays did
What were we
Travis
talking about earlier?
Oh, he played
Travis Hunter,
120
yeah.
plays,
129 plays.
He been on the field 87% of the time.
Wow.
In one game.
How is he
He don't get tired.
He's listening to Coach Fry, and they're like, we're going to get you in a hot tub on the ride home.
Not only did he get an interception, he got an athletic interception. That is jumping the route. That was impressive.
Full body extension.
It was
And then did a diving
unbelievable.
catch 2-3 quarters
It's like
later.
he was a video game in NCAA football.
player?
Literally, his body moves on a dime. The force is pulling him one way, and he just makes that unbelievable pick. So
I hope this
So
open up
athletic,
for other
I can't.
people to play 2 positions, offense and defense.
Put him at wide out.
Yeah, that's cool.
Just one thing to add to that Nebraska game. Did you hear about the ticket sale? An
Yeah.
upper deck ticket is $380 for upper deck for
home
Nebraska,
opener.
Colorado.
380?
That is insane. And I think Nebraska, their number 1 tight end, didn't he get charged?
he was not their number 1 tight end. He was a big time recruit. So his name's
Yeah.
Eric Gilbert. He was a big time recruit, originally committed to LSU, then transferred to Georgia, and then transferred to Nebraska. He's bad news all over the place. Was never happy, was a diva, this and that. He was a dominant player in high school, but he never found his place because of off the field issues. And he was arrested and I believe dismissed from the team or something like that for. He tried to break into a smoking shop and steal everything, so he was just battering everything with a baseball bat. And yeah, I hope he gets his life together. But
Yeah.
That ticket price still blows me away because that's
Drama queen.
I'd be using that for college. I don't know who's be spending $380 for a ticket, but go ahead and enjoy the game.
Ryan, we'll get a fright down.
You can
Exactly.
get Clemson tickets for free.
Going back to Colorado, I think on all aspects that's huge, whether it be Coach Prime, whether it be, the use of the transfer portal, NIL. I think on all aspects it's just shocking, and it's going to be really fun to watch this team. But speaking of the transfer portal, or the lack of the transfer portal, I should say, with this team, let's talk about Clemson. Now, I know this leaves a bad taste in a lot of our mouths on campus here, but fill in the blank here. Clemson's shocking loss to Duke on Monday, the 21-7 loss, means blank. And Daniel, I'm going to start with you.
Means we need a change. That offense did not want to throw downfield. That defense did not want to hit tackles. It looks exactly like the offense from last year, but worse. I don't know who's calling plays, but at what point do we stop blaming the coordinators? I don't know.
Call your own plays, I feel like. I say we in trouble because, it's no way. We was in the red zone, 2-3 times, and, we got to the 1, false start, back up. Then I said, watch something happen, fumble. I just feel like basic fundamentals, y'all should know how, to do this and stuff, and we in trouble. Hopefully, I was telling all my friends, what if Clemson, this loss, it's a setback. Then you know how, like, in the movies, good teams, like, they lose their first game, then win the national championship.
Start of the DVD.
Yeah, might happen. I hope.
I said this means they need to throw the dang deep ball. Clemson's longest completed pass attempt was 21 yards, and it was a throw dink and dunk over the middle of the field that was taken for a little extra. They did not attempt a pass in air yards over 25. The offense was completely stagnant in the fair of not working the outside, working the checkdowns and everything like that. Nobody was going deep. Nobody was creating any type of misdirection or separation or setup for the run game. Will Shipley was great in the run game, and then when you get in that red zone, everybody's tired. There's a miscommunication with Cade and Shipley for the fumble. The backup running back for Clemson, who was having a great game up until that point, fumbles. So it's just you throw the ball more, give the running backs more to rest, and maybe the ball security will come with that.
Somebody need to step up, though.
For sure. So I played lacrosse in high school, and this past season, every single game that the other team scored first, we won. And I feel like this is kind of similar. Like, it's not the beginning of the end, it's the end of the beginning. So, like, when you're good and you go into things confidently, and you're like, oh, we're gonna win, we're gonna beat Duke. We beat them last year. And you just got to get humbled sometimes. Like, it's just a setback, and I think we just got to get in check. Dabo's got to do some more coaching. Someone's got to step up, but I think we're on the come up.
All right, I was going to put the word down, but instead I'm just going to show you guys. It means nothing. Nothing at all. That's what I'm just going to go with. I know it's not agreed upon. I definitely agree there should be changes. But if you look at the impact of the game, it's really nothing. I mean, we're overreacting a lot for this. I get it. It did not look pretty, but it's the first game under a new offensive coordinator. And if you check the game, first off, it's at Duke, so it's at Durham. Duke players were lining up on the sideline 2 minutes before the game ended. This was their championship. And I just have a question for, like, the panel and Griffin, who wants to answer it. If the game against Duke was here in Death Valley, and we were winning 28-7, fourth quarter, would you be lining up on the sidelines at all to rush the field?
Like, at the gate waiting.
I mean, would you be lining up 2 minutes early?
I wouldn't be lining up on the
78%.
sideline.
I would not.
You might run after the game.
You do not. No. You do not rush the field if you're favored and you're a ranked team against an unranked team and you beat an unranked team by 3 scores at home. You do not rush the field. They're an unranked team beating a monster program. They can rush the field.
Correct.
Plus, they're a basketball school, too, so, like, and we
Not anymore.
As looking at this, you look at this. They lined up, right? They rushed the field. This was basically their championship. This is what they lived up to. This was all talked about in the summer. Can they upset them? And to be honest, I'm looking at this. It was Duke's first top 10 win since 1989. That's 28 games since 1989. I think it's like 24 years.
And last time they beat us was in 2004.
Yep. It was, 16-13 in Durham, I think?
Yeah. Thanks.
I think I looked it up. It was also all-time against Duke. They're 37-17-1. But to me, it's like, this is just nothing to fret about because when I look at Clemson football, our standards are others' wishes. That's how I see it. Our goals are others' dreams. Our expectations are others' hopes. I know this sounds like metaphorical and all, but that's how I feel. I feel
Very
like we
poetic.
have such a high standard. And when we shoot for the moon because we know we will at least land among the stars. Other teams shoot for the sky hoping they'll land on clouds. So you can laugh, but I believe that this is no big deal. We're going to make a bowl game. We're going to go on.
I hope.
It's so like quote on like my
I feel like everybody.
Did you really? I just thought about
Like,
it.
we
I was
shoot
like,
for
this
the
is how I
moon,
feel. Like,
definitely
there's
above
and we
nothing
go
like
for the
500.
stars. That's like
Like-
on like a justice.
Ryan Walt
Like,
Whitman
old man.
Warner.
This should
Dude,
be
I
our
just,
only
like, I don't
loss,
feel like
though.
there's nothing
Ryan
to
Walt
worry
Whitman
about. Like,
Warner.
this
Oh,
is-
Here
if we
for
upset
Duke,
FSU,
here for us.
that would
Duke
be-
has
We're
not
going
won
up.
that-
I feel like
mean,
we
they had
upset them, we
They
going
had
to
a
the
9-win
playoffs.
game last year, and I think before that there were
Or
3 wins.
that,
So, I mean, they're
Notre
looking
Dame,
for
and
a
Wake
good
Forest,
win. They got
we
one.
went on 3 of them.
Congratulations.
We're going to
We're
the
still
playoffs.
ranked. I don't really know how, but we are. We're going to bounce back. We have 2 easy games, and I think we're going to go take it to FSU in week 4. That's how I was thinking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like if we upset them, Wake Forest and Notre Dame, we going to the playoffs.
So I'm saying there's no big deal. Yeah, we definitely need changes, but there's nothing big to have to all of a sudden like oh my God, we're tearing down. Dabo's done.
Stop
Dabo's
doing
not
screenplays.
Dabo's
Stop.
winning.
Dabo, did you see the tweet where Dabo's
ball
running
deep.
down the hill I'm going back to DJ or something like that?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
we don't need that. We don't need to freak out.
I
Did
saw
you
the
see the
like
tiger
the
smoking a
Wolverine.
cigarette on the
No.
story? It was like a tiger like against a wall.
It's-
It's a young team. Cade's young. He's a sophomore. It's growing pains. Like, this is his second start since
Exactly.
the Tennessee Orange Bowl, I think.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Go
and in that
Vols.
game, he threw 330 yards on 329. So,
It was the red zone offense that just didn't kick off in that game.
It's certainly
Problem here.
it's a tough pill to swallow. I'll tell you that.
And where can we field goals?
Exactly, and Duke's a great team, and fair play to the Blue Devils. That was it was a great game for them, and nothing but the best in the future, and they're ranked now, which is great. But we're gonna go right into the NFL pick'ems. We got Week 1 tomorrow is the first game of the NFL season, and we got a game that is just pure fireworks. We have the Lions traveling to Arrowhead Stadium to take on the Kansas City Chiefs, the reigning Super Bowl champs. We got the fan favorite in the Lions, at least for me, and we got the team that everyone wants to take down. Guys, who's gonna take this game?
Raiders.
Ryan, I'm gonna start with you.
oh, the game. If I'm going with the game, Chiefs versus Lions, I'm going Chiefs. I think Chiefs will win. I know Travis Kelce's hurt, but I have a strong feeling that he's still going to be able. I mean, Patrick Mahomes makes anyone around him better. The Lions are going to put up a fight. I think it's going to be close. I feel like, I don't know, for some reason the score 32-29 stuck in my head. I have no clue why, but I feel like it's going to be close. I feel like they're going to put up a fight, but I think the Chiefs will come out on top.
I'll go with the high scoring. I'll take the Chiefs over the Lions.
What you got, RJ?
Oh, wait, we doing the 2024 Super Bowl.
No, this is Lions.
That's what I thought we were doing
Lions
too.
Chiefs.
I wrote not the Cardinals.
And I
I was
done
like,
showed the Raiders. Oh.
Well, you
oh.
still got
They're
it.
all good.
All right.
What do you got?
I like the Lions. You want to tell you why? They got a young team, and I think Travis Kelce's injured right now.
Yep.
So without Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes really don't have nobody. I mean, he do got people, but Travis Kelce his main guy. So the Lions, they got a young team, and yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Lions. I think the Lions are going to win this game, but I'm not going to doubt Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes could throw for 4,000 yards with me, RJ, Daniel, Brian, and Ashlyn as his
Yeah.
5 best wide receivers. So I don't know about Griff. I feel like Griffin would get 1,000 yards in there by himself, so I think he'd be in there. But yeah, I'm not going to doubt him, but I am going with the Lions. I think the Lions are hungry. I think the Lions have a statement. I think the Lions are hungry to be on prime time. I think I'm going to go with Jared Goff, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown, that core, and a tough, gritty defense. So, awesome.
With the Lions expected to utilize Jahmyr Gibbs, Alabama running back, I think their offense is going to be really good, but I think their defense is definitely lacking. And they are playing Patrick Mahomes, and I know you said that, like, all he has is himself, but, like, he has himself.
Yeah.
Like, all you need is
You're
yourself.
going to find a way.
Yeah, he'll throw it to himself and
ones find a
win.
way. The great ones find a way. I remember that. I'm just a man of quotes today. Go ahead.
You're very poetic
You
today,
on
Brian.
Pinterest
I will say
before
that.
this?
Yes.
we
That one's gonna be a fun one. That's at 8:20 tomorrow to kick off the whole NFL year. I think that's a great game to start off with. We got once again the champions and a team that's just hungry to get to the top. But let's get to the Sunday football, and we got a fun one coming out of the AFC South. We have the Cincinnati Bengals traveling to traveling to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Guys, this is an interesting one. Obviously, Deshaun Watson in his full year as a Brown. Who do you guys like in this game? RJ pulling out the Bengals. Why?
I mean, I just love Joe Burrow because he on my fantasy, so he have to go off. And Jamar Chase, I love him. T. Higgins. I mean, that team's stacked, but can't sleep on the Browns though, because Deshaun Watson, he's back since So. I like the Bengals though. It's gonna be a close game because every time week 1, everyone's still wishy-washy, so it's gonna be a close game, but Bengals for the win.
Daniel?
I'll go with the Bengals too, even with Joe Burrow's calf injury. It's just I don't know how well Watson's gonna play week 1. I don't really trust him quite yet, so give me the Bengals.
Wait, don't he got what's his wide receiver?
Amari Cooper.
Amari
Yeah.
Cooper. It's gonna be a fun one to watch.
David?
I'm going to go with the Cleveland Browns. Give me the Cleveland Browns. Nobody's picking the Browns at home. I think I might be the only guy on the panel picking the Browns. The Browns have a great run game. Deshaun Watson last year was off the field, dealing with a lot. It was his first time back as a starting quarterback in a couple of years. I mean, really didn't have a lot of, ready to go experience. He's got experience, but now he's going to be less rusty. He's going to be able to orchestrate an offense a little bit better under Kevin Stefanski's system. I'm a big Kevin Stefanski guy. I think he's a really good head coach. I think the Browns' defense is tough. Myles Garrett and that pass rush will get after you. And Nick Chubb, he's got the ball now. No more Kareem Hunt. All the carries going to Chubb. Chubb, let's go Browns.
I think Chubb is good. I think Jamar Chase is better. I think Joe Burrow is better. Give me the Bengals.
I'm going Bengals. I just don't trust the Browns. They've let me down too many times. I'm not even a Browns fan. I feel bad for them, though. I'm sorry. You have a great roster. You've had a great roster, minus the quarterback. But even Baker Mayfield wasn't a bad step in. Took them 11
to the
wins
playoffs.
To the playoffs, and their first playoff win in so many years. And they trade him away for Deshaun Watson, rightfully so. I mean, Deshaun Watson doing well. He had a few years off. But it's just I just can't trust him, especially when he's the Bengals, even if it's the backup quarterback. I mean, you still have Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. You got Joe Mixon coming out of the backfield. It's just, I don't know if I trust him. Will it be semi-close? I think like a one score, probably. I'm thinking like 7 to 10 points, but I just can't trust the Browns.
Interesting. And then we're going with a across the country battle. We got the Miami Dolphins going west, taking on the LA Chargers. This is a fun one for me, an AFC showdown, potentially, two top teams in the AFC. Guys, who do you got? Brian, I'm going to start with you.
All right. I don't know if I'm alone on this one. I do like the Dolphins, but I'm going with Chargers. I just feel like it's home field advantage. I mean, really, it's not really home field. It's like the Rams home, at least that's what some people say, so I don't know how good it's going to be. But I don't know. I'm not quite a believer in the Dolphins yet. I know Jalen Ramsey's out, which really hurt. I think if Jalen Ramsey was playing, I'd take the Dolphins, but I'm just a little nervous. I mean, the Chargers do have a really good wide receiver room. Although Keenan Allen I don't know if he's hurt now. He always seems like he's hurt. You do have Quentin Johnston coming up, and you have Mike Williams. But I think the Chargers will win it. You got Eckler in the back as well. He might be going through an injury. I don't remember at the top of my head. But I'm going Chargers, so I'm just going to go with them.
I'm going to go with the Dolphins. I think these are two of the most explosive offenses in the NFL for sure. And last season, Miami started off they could have gone to the Super Bowl, but Tua's injuries halted that. They were on such a good streak. I think if Tua can come back, learn how to protect his body, they have Tyreek Hill, they have Waddle. I think if they can play how they did last year, they're going to win for sure. They could even go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I was thinking Dolphins all the way, but I just thought of this now. The Dolphins have to go across country, and that time zone shift is always super hard to adjust to. I didn't want to buy into the Chargers. The Chargers are the team with the most hype every year. I mean, it's like the Chargers are back. Are the Chargers back? Are the Chargers back? I don't think that the Chargers are back, but I think they're back. I'm going with the Chargers. I'm going to buy into the hype for the last 10 years like I've been doing. 2010, they had the number one offense and the number one defense, and they missed the playoffs. I'm in on the Chargers. It's unfortunate, but they got a really good team, great quarterback, good wide receivers, good running back in Austin Eckler. Defense is actually pretty solid as well. Got some good pass rushers.
I'm going with the Dolphins just because I dislike the Chargers. Maybe because I'm a Raiders fan and a rivalry, man. We need every loss from them, so yeah.
I'll go with the Dolphins too. They're too explosive, and I just don't trust the Chargers.
How recovered is Tua, is my question.
That's a good question, yeah.
I just like Herbert.
I love.
I like Waddle and Hill.
Yeah.
Oh, they definitely got better receivers.
Yeah.
We got a conversation later.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the biggest question mark going into that game, of course, I think the time zone plays a huge factor, like David said. But I think Tua's injury, coming off of the concussion, what happens and goes to there. But that will certainly be an interesting one, and hopefully, a shootout. But next up, we got Sunday Night Football. We got a battle of the NFC East. We got the Dallas Cowboys traveling to MetLife Stadium to take on my team, if you follow this, the New York Giants. Who do you guys got in this one? And don't piss me off.
I got the Giants, bro, because you're a Giants fan. I picked the Giants just because Cowboys, they always struggle. Well, Dak, remember, he had a season-ending injury against the Giants, and it's going to be a hard game, and I just feel like the Giants going to come out on top. Sleeper team, too.
I'll go with the Giants, too, for Griffin, and also I just don't like Dak anymore. He's too inconsistent, throwing too many picks.
I dislike the Cowboys, too.
Yeah,
No offense.
I can't stand
Me
him
too.
anymore.
I'm going to go with the Giants. Yes, the Cowboys are America's team, blah, blah, blah. Shut up. The Steelers said no. So you're the backup America's team. Like, chill out.
Oh.
I hate the Cowboys so much. So give me the Giants. Give me the Giants.
Brian?
Yeah. Why not? It's a party, baby.
Give me the Cowboys. Me and Brian on it together,
Yeah,
the
we're
Cowboys.
right.
Give me Dak Prescott. I don't think Dak Prescott's very good, but I do think that he's good enough. I think the roster's loaded. I think Tony Pollard is a stud running back. No more Zeke. It's his time. I think getting Brandon Cooks in the offseason was a great trade for the Cowboys. I think he is so underrated and so reliable. And I do think the Giants are great. I mean, Brian Dabble lives in my hometown. I love the guy. Awesome dude. But I think that the Giants have had troubles beating Dallas over the past couple years during the Daniel Jones era. No matter how good they are, no matter how tough they fight them, they have troubles beating Dallas. And I'll go with the Cowboys here.
I'm going with Cowboys too. I just want to show my board. I wrote the time to write. I want to show it. But to be honest, it's like I love the addition of Stephon Gilmore and Brandon Cooks. Those are probably two of my favorite pickups in the offseason. I'm not a Cowboys fan. I just, in general, I love them.
No, I don't like the Cowboys, but I
but
like
it's like,
hats.
If I have to, I just think they're going to do well. I know Dak Prescott said he's not going to throw as many interceptions, if not all, whatever he said. I don't believe that. I think he's still going to throw a good chunk. But I think they can do enough to win the game. And to fight your point, the Cowboys have been more relevant and won more
The Cowboys are
recently
disgusting.
than the Steelers. They've been like, I just don't know.
What are you talking about?
They
They've
have-
won more recently than the
They're
Steelers.
like one more games. Like Steelers have been on the down recently.
Okay.
I like this. hat.
Steelers might have more championships, but to me, the Cowboys make more money, they make more revenue, and therefore they have a better brand, which is why they're America's team. Not because they've won more, because they have a better brand.
Yeah, because
They're
their
6
logo's a star.
They're $6
Obviously,
billion
it's America's
franchise. It is definitely Cowboys is American team. And I'm not a big fan of them, but yes, they are America's
Team.
team.
Overrated.
Shout out Jake Hager. I like this hat.
The Giants had 9 wins, and you're saying that the Cowboys are overrated.
The Cowgirls.
Yeah, the Cowgirls.
They're the G people.
Interesting. We got another 3-2 vote here. I mean, you obviously know what my vote is, but that's going to be a fun game to watch. But I think the last game of Week 1 will probably be one of the most fun games to watch. A Monday Night Football matchup between the New York Jets and the Buffalo Bills, an AFC East matchup. The Jets arguably with one of the biggest pickups in the offseason with Aaron Rodgers. This is an interesting one. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Who do you guys like in this game?
Jets.
Jets, why?
I mean, Aaron Rodgers, he got some of his boys, and the Jets got like a young team picking up Sauce Gardner and stuff, and they were like this close, like from missing the playoffs. I'm like missing the playoffs, so I feel like they're gonna come out on top. I mean, the Bills, don't get me wrong, they're a good team too, so they're gonna be close, but I'm down who won it more.
Jets, Jets. I love the Jets in this matchup. Monday night, Aaron Rodgers loves prime time. He's got a great record, especially over the last 5 years in prime time. As a Packers fan and a guy who likes the Jets as well, I'm a big on Aaron Rodgers. I'm happy he's out of Green Bay, but I like him in New York. It's a better fit for him. The defense is great. I mean, you saw how they carried Zach Wilson last year to 7 wins, and they were right on the cusp if Zach Wilson just knew how to throw a simple out route. But, the Jets are looking good. The Bills are awesome, though. I think that the Bills will end up winning the division and, definitely will beat the Jets in the second game. But Monday night, Aaron Rodgers' debut, give me the Jets.
That's fair. Give me the Bills. I think I'm alone in saying this. The Bills drafted a new tight end. They're possibly going to trade for Jonathan Taylor. They have Diggs. They have Gabe Davis. And they have Josh Allen. Josh Allen's amazing. Josh Allen's great. Had him on my fantasy team last year. Did not disappoint. Give me the Bills.
I'm going to have to take off my hat for this one because I'm not going blue. I'm going green. Sia Green. I don't remember what their thing is because I don't really follow the Jets that much. But I'm going Jets. It might be too early to say this, but it kind of gives me Duke Clemson vibes where it's like the underrated team is like fired up to go beat the Bills.
Based on what are the Jets underrated?
No. I'm saying
They didn't win in like a
Who's favorite?
long
The Bills are
time.
favorite.
The Jets are being talked about by every media outlet in the entire
They're
country.
talking about
Looking
the
for
playoffs. I'm
clicks.
saying for this game, I think they're picking the Bills.
I don't know.
Like
what
Clemson wasn't picked to win the championship, but like they were favored in this game by a lot.
Yeah.
So I mean, like to me, it's
I don't think
very
the Jets are a 12-point underdog, though. That's the
no. But I think that the Jets are the ones not favored to win, if that's a better way to put it, not really underdog. So it's like, to me, I feel like Aaron Rodgers is going to have him fired up. I'm not a big Aaron Rodgers fan, but in Hard Knocks, he's become more likable. So I'm going Jets. I think he'll be fired up. They got a really good defense. So yeah, I'm going to go Jets.
I'm gonna go.
Daniel?
I'm gonna go with the Jets too. Keeping it New York. It's like the past couple years, Rodgers in Week 1 has been pretty abysmal, but that's because he's missed OTAs and hasn't worked with his team too. He's done it this season. There's good chemistry throughout that football team. Every position, for the most part, is pretty solid. I'll take the Jets over the Bills.
Awesome, 4-1 for the New York Jets. But honestly, I think you guys would agree with me that it is a phenomenal time to be a sports fan, and we got plenty more to talk about next week with college football. We got NFL Week 1 done, and maybe a little bit more of some answers. Then we got playoff baseball heating up if we do have some baseball viewers or some baseball fans in here. But that's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll be back next week with some more hot takes. See ya.